Alright guys, a claim don surface from a prison guard in Sokoto who come dey praise Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, dey call am say Nnamdi Kanu is the wisest man he don ever meet all in life. He come talk say Nigeria is holding the wrong man in prison. But what does this really mean for the political landscape in Nigeria? So in this video, we will break down Kanu's legal battle, the claim. So I want you, to sit tight and listen and see what is going on, because when I dey tell una say Nnamdi Kanu, e no be small name. E come be like say person just dey talk. And these politicians, when they hold am, they understand that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he knows too much. And if this man dey free tomorrow, e go affect them one way or the other. The reason why they are just caging Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So guys, I go drop the video, make una hear wetin this prison guard dey talk. The matter don already scatter everywhere in the internet. I will be right back.
The story around Nnamdi Kanu is still one of the most controversial and talked about topics in Nigeria today. Just last week, a Nigerian court in Abuja sentenced him to life imprisonment on charges of terrorism. Now, you may already know that Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, an organization that is pushing for the independence of the southeastern region of Nigeria. This conviction, the life sentence, it all has a lot of people talking. But recently something came out that has stirred the pot even more. A claim made by someone who's said to be a prison guard at the SOKOTO prison, where Kanu is now being held, has gone viral. According to this individual, Nnamdi Kanu is, and I quote, "the wisest man I have ever met in my entire life." He went on to say that Kanu carries a kind of wisdom that feels divine, almost like the wisdom of Allah himself. He insists that Kanu is no criminal. In his eyes, Kanu is a leader, and according to him, Nigeria is holding the wrong man in prison. He feels like every time he speaks to Kanu, it's like talking to a man who's way ahead of his time, far ahead of this generation. To him, Kanu is not a threat. He's not even a prisoner. He's a leader, and the country has imprisoned him unjustly. Now, whether or not this account is true is another thing entirely. There are those who will believe it because they already support Kanu, and then there are others who will dismiss it as mere gossip, as nothing more than social media hearsay. As of now, there hasn't been any independent verification of the prison guard's testimony. It's one of those things that's difficult to prove. But even without verification, this claim about Kanu's wisdom, well, it does touch on a very deep issue. A lot of people feel that Kanu has been wrongfully imprisoned, and this guard's words just fuel that sentiment. The truth is, the political tension surrounding Nnamdi Kanu and the entire Biafran separatist movement is incredibly complicated. Kanu's supporters believe that he is being punished for simply advocating for the self-determination of his people. But on the other hand, the Nigerian government sees him as a threat to the unity of the country. His call for Biafra's independence has led to a lot of unrest, and that unrest is what led to his arrest and the charges against him. You can't ignore the fact that there's been violence associated with the separatist cause, and many people feel that Kanu's actions, whether direct or indirect, have contributed to that violence. But there are also others who believe Kanu is simply trying to give a voice to a marginalized people, people who have felt oppressed and sidelined by the government for years. Now, this isn't just about one person's story. It's about a much bigger picture about how justice is perceived in this country and whether the legal system can really be trusted to be impartial. We've seen time and time again how the justice system has been manipulated to fit certain agendas. And with high-profile figures like Kanu, this only becomes more apparent. The issue of human rights and justice in Nigeria is complex, and Kanu's case is just one of many examples. Let's talk about the implications of his transfer to Sokoto. The fact that he was moved so far from Abuja is a big deal, especially since it raises concerns about his ability to appeal his conviction. Imagine this. He's now locked up in a prison that's a significant distance from the courts that would hear his case if he decides to challenge his sentence. His legal team is now in a position where they have to deal with this logistical nightmare. It's not just a simple prison transfer. The move could potentially affect his ability to access legal counsel, to attend hearings, and to exercise his right to a fair trial. And let's not ignore the larger political ramifications of Kanu's case. His conviction and imprisonment have only deepened the divides within the country. On one side, you have the people who believe in the unity of Nigeria, those who see Kanu and his Biafran cause as a threat to the integrity of the country. On the other side, you have the people who believe Kanu is a martyr, someone who has been unfairly punished for trying to bring about positive change for his people. So, depending on where you stand, the whole situation looks very different. For some, this is a clear-cut case of an individual being punished for his beliefs. For others, it's a matter of national security. Now, let me be clear. This whole situation is far from simple. We can't just pick a side and call it a day. There are too many factors at play. What's clear is that this case has brought out a lot of emotion and division in the country. Supporters of Kanu are frustrated, and many of them see this as a gross miscarriage of justice. They're rallying for his release, and they're putting pressure on the government to let him go. On the other hand, those who support the government's stance on unity and national integrity feel that Kanu has gone too far and that his actions, his calls for separation, are a threat to the nation as a whole. This divide isn't going away anytime soon. So, what does all this mean moving forward? Well, we're probably going to see more rallies, more protests, more calls for action. We'll likely see more public debates about what Kanu's imprisonment really means for Nigeria's future. But at the end of the day, this is not just about Nnamdi Kanu. This is about Nigeria, its people, and its future. How we handle this case will set a precedent for how the country handles issues of self-determination, justice, and unity moving forward. The world is watching, and how this plays out could have far-reaching consequences for the country's political landscape. As for Kanu himself, his supporters are going to keep fighting for his release, and they're going to continue to claim that he is being treated unfairly. The prison guard's comments, whether true or not, are just the latest in a long line of statements and opinions that paint Kanu as a political prisoner. But the government, meanwhile, is going to stand by its decision and continue to maintain that Kanu's actions put the country's stability at risk. Now, before I end this, let me remind you all to stay updated with this situation. This is a story that is not going to go away anytime soon, and I'll be keeping you informed. If you're enjoying this update, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis and real-time news. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want to know what you think about all this. Is Kanu a leader unjustly imprisoned, or is he a criminal deserving of his sentence? Let me know. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates on this ongoing saga. As always, thanks for listening and stay tuned for more updates coming your way.
Thank you for always listening. Bye for now.